The Accountant is basically a docudrama which accurately depicts what autism is like. And it shows how it is, in fact, a superpower. The main character, Kristen Wolf, played by Ben Affleck, uses autism in its correct state as a superpower. He has a unique combat style based on autism. He uses it to charm women, and he uses it to make millions of dollars in a glamorous, high profile job. So I think this is probably the most accurate portrayal of autism ever in a feature film. So let's get into the plot. So Ben Affleck, I'm just going to call him Ben Affleck because no one's going to remember names. Starts off the movie, we have a flashback to where he's at I'm not sure what you'd call it, an institute. It's kind of like a mansion, like a big house out in the country where they treat kids with high functioning autism. And I suppose I should say train, because autism doesn't really need to be treated. They just need to be taught how to use it to become the superhumans we know they're going to be. So their kids basically like running around screaming. If he doesn't complete tasks, he just flips out and starts destroying things. And we see him using his autism superpowers to complete a puzzle, like a 2,000 piece puzzle upside down. And he's able to do that because of the power of autism. However, as part of the scene, a puzzle piece falls behind the table, and he starts screaming and freaking out because he can't finish. However, the mute daughter of the doctor of autism gives him the piece back, and he's able to finish it. Later in the movie, we'll see that the doctor of autism has framed the picture as a testament to how powerful autists are. So throughout the movie, we find out his father is a lieutenant colonel in the army, and he doesn't want him to be trained by Autism Man because he has higher aspirations for Ben Affleck. They travel, they move around a lot. He hires like some kung fu master to teach Ben Affleck and his brother how to fight. Ben Affleck is like made into a super autistic soldier, and like some kids pick on him, and he like almost kills 4 kids because he's like a math genius. So kind of like Sherlock Holmes, who also is kind of like an autistic superhero in the Robert Downey Jr. movies. Ben Affleck uses his autism superpowers to like predict combat maneuvers and to like calculate stuff. So he gets trained in that. Apparently at one point, him and his father go to a funeral for his mother because there's a scene where he has like a big autistic freak out and his mother can't take it anymore and abandons him. More evidence that 3D women are scum. His father stands by him though. So they go to his mother's funeral, and his father gets into a fight with the new husband of his wife. So while they get into a fight, some cop and is about to shoot Ben Affleck, but his father jumps in front of the bullet, saving his son. So then Ben Affleck goes to military prison, and there's the former accountant for the Gambino crime syndicate there. And the accountant for the Gambino crime syndicate teaches him how to be a criminal accountant while he's in jail. And Ben Affleck has autism superpowers, so he can do like, he has was it eidetic memory, and he can like memorize tens of thousands of pages of documents. So kind of what he does is he gangs and stuff hire him to do accounting, to do audits on them. Because it's all black market, it's all black money, so it's not like they can hire normal accountants. It's not like they can use banks. There's a lot of kind of disparate accounting sheets because everyone in the gang doesn't really keep good records. So like the Yakuza, the Gambino, hire him to come in and basically audit them and to kind of resolve issues where people are stealing from people. So he gets involved in that. His friend in prison, the accountant, gets out of jail, and the Gambino crime family murders him. So Ben Affleck, because his father has trained him and he hired all these other people to train him, has like autism superpowers. So he goes and he like slaughters half the Gambino crime family. So then we cut to the character played by G.K. Simmons, who's the director of Treasury Crime Investigation. And he brings in a proud woman of color, and it turns out the proud woman of color had lied on her application, and she was actually had an attempted murder charge, which is a federal offense. So he asks her to find Ben Affleck, or he will reveal her secret and end her career as a financial investigator. So it turns out over the course of the movie that G.K. Simmons used to be a really bad Treasury agent, and he was the one who arrested the accountant who taught Ben Affleck. However, he didn't put the guy in protective custody out after he got out of jail, and he died in a couple of hours. And he felt guilty for that. So he was staking out the Gambino crime syndicate when Ben Affleck went in and slaughtered all of them. So there Ben Affleck talks to him about his children, and G.K. Simmons says that he was a terrible agent, but he's always been a good father, and that's always been the focus of his life. So Ben Affleck starts feeding him information about the various criminal organizations he works for, so that he can arrest them while not being linked to them. So it's revealed later in the movie that Ben Affleck makes millions of dollars a year, and he launders it all through his various businesses. He owns an entire strip mall, and every business in the strip mall makes like $500,000 a year. And after he launders the money, he donates virtually all of his income to the Autism Institute to train more autistic superheroes and to create a new leadership cast that will take over this earth after the Death to Normies party has begun their coup. So to try and kind of evade the Treasury, he takes a high-profile, legitimate assignment to audit a company that produces cybernetics, like artificial legs, artificial arms, that kind of thing. And the company's going to be taken public. But Anna Kendrick, who's the hottest accountant I've ever seen in a movie, has found a large discrepancy, and there's $62 million missing. So because he's a superhero, Ben Affleck manages to go through 15 years of records in one night. He writes on every surface in the office, and he finds all the missing money. We're treated to some scenes where, because he's Ben Affleck, Anna Kendrick keeps trying to flirt with him, but he blows her off using his autism superpowers. And she's like trying to flirt with him, and she's like, oh, I got you some donuts. He's like, I don't eat donuts. She's like, I got you some lunch, and he's like, I bring my own lunch. And she tries to like talk to him about accounting, and he's just really awkward in the encounter, and he just kind of blows her off. And this just arouses her even more and makes her like him more, which is true to real life, because it's kind of like Pua tries to do this kind of thing, like insulting women and kind of like ignoring them to make them want you more, but autists, it just comes naturally to them. So she just kind of falls in love with him because of his autistic superpowers. And that's how you pick up cuties. So as this is all happening and he discovers the money, the financial director of the company is cornered by some black ops guys who force him to commit suicide, as opposed to just directly killing him and his wife in a robbery. So the head of the robotics company tells Ben Affleck he doesn't want him to work for him anymore, and wherever the money went, his best friend's dead, and he's willing to let bygones be bygones. So as that's happening, throughout the movie, Ben Affleck is told what to do by a mysterious entity called the Voice, which is a female voice, who's also the one who feeds G.K. Simmons the various criminal activities. So Ben Affleck had helped a kind of like a salt of the earth rural farming couple early in the movie, and kind of as a thank. So he has cantaloupes, and he shoots the cantaloupes with a 50 cal, and he can shoot them from a mile away using his autistic math skills. So a group of assassins come after him and kidnap the and kind of hold the farming couple hostage, but he's able to like no scope them from like a kilometer away using his math powers, and he's able to save them. However, he finds out the guys are going to kill Anna Kendrick next. So he drives really quickly to her apartment and saves her and kills another batch of assassins. He then takes her to his trailer where he has a Renoir and Jackson Pollock, which is shit. All of his paintings are shit, and he was a horrible human being, and his death is probably good for the world. But he stares at it on the ceiling because the paint thrown at the canvas. He probably pissed on it because Jackson Pollock. The paint he threw on the canvas um, can only be perceived with someone with autism. So he has like autistic therapy he does where he puts on really loud metal music, he turns on a rapid blinking light, and he like rolls this thing on his leg. So it's like sensory um, acclimatization or something like that. When he gets fired before he finishes the job at the robotics factory, he goes crazy and he starts beating himself violently because he couldn't finish. Because an autistic man always finishes what he starts. So he takes her to his trailer and they go to a hotel together and he tries to impress her. And then he talks about his high functioning autism and she tries to kiss him, but once again he blows her off with his autistic superpowers, and she just gets more and more aroused as time goes on. So then he decides that he wants to save her because QT should be cherished, and he comes to the conclusion that the person who's trying to kill them is actually the president of the company. So he goes to the guy's house, which is out in the country, and there's a team of assassins there. So Ben Affleck kills all of them using his autistic math skills until he gets the last guy who's the leader, who turns out to be his brother in a really lazy, shitty movie thing. And he kicks his brother's ass because his brother's neurotypical. And the head of the robotics company comes out and starts justifying his actions and saying, "You don't understand. I stole the money and I did all this stuff, so I was able to help more people. I've improved the lives of thousands of people. I'll be able to improve the lives of thousands more." And he's like, "Do you understand what it's like to lift people up, to help the helpless, to do all this stuff?" And then Ben Affleck goes, "Yes," and shoots him in the head. And then he says to his brother, let's go get some food next week." And then he leaves. And that's basically the end of the movie. And then Anna Kendrick, he gives the Jackson Pollock to, and he leaves, making her pine for him forever. And the proud woman of color manages to find him, but all that's there is his house, and he has like a chain gun and like a super surveillance system. So, so the Accountant was a movie I had literally zero expectations for. I just thought it might be a popcorn flick. It was better than I thought it was. It was not a bad movie. If you're kind of looking for something that exposes, or rather, kind of celebrates autism and how it means that you're a higher caste, or you're just kind of looking for a kind of a fun thriller movie, it's not a bad film. I thought it was okay. I mean, it's nothing special. I'm not going to say it was a great movie, but it was a fun use of 2 hours, and it was worth the money I spent to see it. I'm going to give it like a 7 to 7.5 out of 10. Not a bad movie. Oh yeah, right. No, it's revealed that I forgot something. The voice turns out to be the daughter of Doctor Autism, who can't talk, but she has a supercomputer and she has mad autistic hack skills. and the voice is actually a synthesized program. So yeah, just tism for life, death to normies. This is Argent. I'll talk to you guys later.